y'all, it's Charlene from the Crafty Art Shack, and we're back here today, and we have not a challenge video, but we have a video for y'all of accessory pieces that we're going to be adding to our village at the end of the year. Now remember, we're going to start doing one each month, a house each month, but we need some accessories to go with it too, so let's get to the craft desk and get started on some of them. All right, here we go with DIY number 1. And for this DIY, you're going to need some wire, and I measured it. It's probably about 6 inches, 5 to 6 inches long, but I don't use the whole wire. You're going to need 1 large button, 2 medium buttons, and 2 small buttons, because what we're going to make is some little patio furniture for our gazebo we're going to make in a minute. All right, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your wire. You're going to take 2 of them that you've cut at 6 inches. And what you're going to do is you're going to take and fold it in half and stick it through the buttonhole like I just did. Now, I've got these jewelry scissors, listen to me, jewelry pliers, and they've got rounded ends on them. And what I'm doing is I'm making 2 more little pieces of wire, and these are probably about 2 inches long, 2 to 3 inches long, and I put them through there. And then what I'm going to do, once I get them snapped into place, then I'm going to curl the little wires up, and this is going to become my little chair, and these are going to be the little legs. Now if you don't have wire like I have here, you can do this with the smaller paper clips. You can do it with the larger ones, but make sure that they go through your buttonholes that you choose. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and make a little curly Q on the end of one of my wires, and then I'm going to fold it to the side. Then I'm going to stick it through the right there, see, through the button, and then I'm going to hot glue it to the button, and that's going to become the back of my chair. And once you put the hot glue on there, you want to let it dry so it holds it in place. And I just pushed it down with my little fingertip protectors to make sure that the glue stayed flat to the surface. And then I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to glue it to the bottom of my chair. Now you can use super glue on this, but I'm an impatient crafter, so I put hot glue on it. I'll probably have to go back and fix it again. So you're making 2 chairs, and then you're making a table. And so I abandoned the way I was doing the table the first time, and I'm trying to see what way I want to do this next little piece for the table. Now, in order to do this piece for the table, I took 3 wires and made little feet at the bottom of them. And then what I'm going to do is I took one of the springs from the mousetrap, and I cut all the extra edges off of it. And I'm going to fill the inside of it with some clay so that I can get my legs to stay in place until I can get everything done with them I need to get done. And then I'll drop some super glue down inside of that, some hot glue down inside of it, and then I'm going to stick it down to my little button. And I have to kind of hold it because it's wanting to move on me. So I take it off and push the little legs up in there a little bit further to decide how tall I really want it to be, because evidently I didn't get it the right size. I'm going to drop some more hot glue down in the bottom of that so that those stay in place, and trim that up one more time. And then I'm going to stick it down to my button. Now I set those aside and let them dry, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to paint everything black, and anything that's loose that's not staying where it needs to be staying, I will go in there and put some super glue in there so that it won't move and it's pretty solid all the way through. So I'll paint both the chairs and the table, and we will see the rest of this at the final reveal. At this time, we'd like to thank our subscribers. We love you bunches, and thanks for subscribing. Here we go with DIY number 2. Now for this one, we're going to make a little park bench. And then what I'm going to do is you could take a paper clip and do this, but I'm going to take these little wires and I'm going to make or fold them to where they match the set that I have on the table. And what I did is I took a straight piece and put a little curly Q on the end of both pieces. And then I took another piece and put a curly Q on the end. I didn't measure how much it was. I'll do that in just a minute to make sure I have everything like I want it. And I'm finding the places to bend by laying it up against the other one that I've already done. And that's all you do, is you keep doing this back and forth until you get 2 end pieces that look the same. Now what we're making is a little park bench for our little village, and this turns out so cute. So once I get those pieces like I want them, then I'm going to take some super glue and glue them together. And you guys, I am so messy with super glue. I got this all over me, and you want to let them sit and dry, and just so that they don't fall apart. They will stay together really nicely if you take time to let them dry. Now I'm taking one of these coffee stirs. It is made out of bamboo, and I am going to slit it down the center to make the little wood pieces for our bench, because if we put them on there like they are, it looks too big. So we're going to split it down the center, and we're going to cut 3 pieces for the bottom and 3 pieces for the top. And you want to make sure that it is all the same size so that your bench turns out symmetrical. Now after all that super glue dries, then you're going to go take your little end pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and paint mine now so I don't have to paint around the wood on the seat of these benches. So I'm going to paint both sides, front and back, and then I will let that dry. Then after they dry, I'm going to glue my little bench pieces on there so that they can it'll be ready for to be a park bench. Yeah, I super glued it down to the to the piece of blind. I thought it was going to come off real easy. I had to work on that thing. And then, yeah, I'll go back and touch all of that up. And here we go with DIY number 3, and we'll see the other one at the final reveal. Now for this one, we are going to make the gazebo. So I took this little candle stand that I have that's octagon, and I'm going to trace around it to make the floor for our gazebo. Sorry guys, we lost this footage in transferring our files over. I'm going to start in the back of, well, I found a piece that wasn't stuck, so I'm going to go back and stick it back on. But I find the back of my project, and I start with this jute rope. And what I'm going to do with this jute rope is I'm going to hot glue it on, and I'm going to go all the way around and trim out that top piece that I just put on. Now after I get that around the top, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a little skinny piece of jute rope and put it around it and glue it down around that. And then this will finish trimming out the top of my gazebo. Now after I get that done, I take a cork and I cut it in half, and I take a juice bottle that I took the lid off of, and I'm going to take and put hot glue around the inside of that, and I'm going to glue it down to the top of my gazebo. Just like that. You want to make sure you got it centered. And then the next thing I'm going to do is start adding little slats all the way around, and that's going to make my roof. So here I am. I lay down one every so many inches, and then I'm going to go back and place them, fill the gaps with more of them. You'll see what I'm talking about. Like I went all the way around right there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in and take the rest of these little slats, and I'm going to glue them over the top filling in that gap. You see what I'm talking about? Now, after I get that all filled in, I'm going to take some more little slats, and I am going to take and cover up that cork with the little slats all the way around. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to take and cover the top of this with a little pull handle that I had in my stash. I don't know where I got it from. It just came off of a random drawer and I put it on there. And I'm going to trim it out with some jute twine. And I'm going to make sure I start in the back. Every time I start the rope or I start something new, I always put it in the back. That way if I mess it up first, then it's in the back and it's not going to be as noticeable right offhand. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take Mod Podge and we're going to cover our cardboard and our whole project in Mod Podge to seal it up before we start putting anything on it, because we're going to add some clay to this at the bottom and make our little bushes, and we don't want those to break off, so we're making sure we put Mod Podge all the way around it and around all the edges. Now, after we get that done, we're going to take our little tool and make us some little lines all the way around, because these are going to be little bitty blocks going all the way around. Then the next thing that we're going to do is, here it is. See, there's a good look at it, and there's all our little bushes. And no, we don't have the bottom covered. We will put felt on the bottom of that when we're done. Now here we are getting ready for paint. So what's the first thing we do? If you know, put it down in the comments below. But those that don't know, we always put white down on our projects first. Sorry guys, we lost this footage in transferring our files over. Now here's all the other places you can find us on social media. And here is the final reveal. Here's our little chairs, aren't they? And our Bistro chair set. These are so adorable. And here is our little gazebo with a little chair sitting in it. And I think this turned out so cute. And then all the little trees around our gazebo. And here's our little clock and our little lantern. And isn't this just adorable? And our little park bench. Alright guys, these will make cute additions to our village that we're going to do this year. We'll be making more accessories as we go for our little village pieces along with our houses. We're going to make one house a month to go with our village. So, alright y'all, we're back from the craft desk and look at this little gazebo with the Bistro chairs. Isn't that so cute? And look, I added this little sign that was supposed to go in my village this year and never made it in there. And I found it and I sat it with it, and didn't it just turn out adorable? You guys, we hope you like this and the stuff that we made in this video. Look for us this year. We're going to be making village pieces that we can use to set up our Christmas village at the end of the year. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And we'll see you later on the next episode of the Crafty Art Shack. We'll see you later. Bye.